The Review by Keila Feo. I'm assuming that's Keila and not Kayla. I tend to pronounce things like Germans do. So forgive me if it's not right. Exterior 80s dance club, East Village, New York City, night, present day, October 4th, 2018. Confusion in the air outside the dirty old dance club. Martha, 40-year-old Latina, a native, obsessive and lonely woman, the kind that would do anything to figure someone out. She's facing Karen, 50s Latina, an insensitive hypocrite, backstabbing liar. Easily manipulated and manager of the place who stands at the door. Drunken Martha can barely talk. Karen is pissed.
It's my club. Don't you think I know what's going on at my club?
What?
I know you've been stalking him. You've been texting him.
I don't have his number.
You sent him a message telling he's a bully.
He is a bully.
Martha, he's not interested.
Still not understanding.
What was he doing then?
I don't know. That's between you and him.
Indifferent, evil Karen closes the door, leaving Martha feeling betrayed and very hurt. Interior gallery openings, Chelsea, New York City, night, about a year before. On a celebratory fun night, Martha and her friend Citron takes advantage of the free wine while gallery hopping. Citron, 35, Afro-Latina, tall and slim, soft-spoken, shy, and not the very expressive type, giggles quietly from time to time without a reason. They drink and talk and laugh. Martha accidentally spills her drink on the floor. Citron takes a few pictures of her posing next to it, looking at the pictures.
They look great. Let's get something to eat.
Interior burger joint night. In a very busy, bright-coloured fast food place, Martha and Citron stuff themselves with burger and fries. Exterior/interior ice cream parlour night. Giggling with a slight buzz, Martha and Citron walk by an inviting ice cream parlour. There are a couple of people behind the counter. My treat. They walk inside. A guy walks in and stands behind them.
It's my birthday.
The staff, Citron and the guy cheer. Exterior, interior, 80s dance club night. We glide outside that dive dance club with black fences covering the glass door and walls where behind them a chubby female go-go dancer does her thing. The bouncer, 30s, African-American, friendly, but in the end turns against Martha, whilst stamping their hands and giving them a ticket each.
You're just in time for the free entrance and a free drink.
It's every Thursday.
Yes.
We need to come here more often.
Inside that seemingly fun dive club with cheap 80s paraphernalia, posters of 80s music stars, weird oil on canvas, distorted mediocre paintings of new wave bands and red Christmas lights, a gay dancer greets Martha and Citron. Gay dancer, 20s, Latino. Oh, I don't think I put gay dancer in. Wears hot pants, overly excited and super hyper. Hey! They smile at him and walk to the bar while he dances around them. Bartender 1, 20s, Caucasian female, skinny, tall, short blue hair, high on drugs and an attitude, wearing a short tank top over a protruding beer belly.
Can I have a Brooklyn lager? Sure.
She serves it.
It's $6.
Martha gives her the ticket. The bartender gives her an ugly look. Trying the beer, she frowns and faces Citron.
It's warm. Can I get a glass of ice, please?
Annoyed, she gets the glass of ice. Dance floor, in a decent-sized dance floor with cheap black sofas and walls with hand-painted deformed Rubik's cubes on one side of them. A DJ, 40s, extremely unattractive but focused, stands on stage spinning 80s new wave. It's a slow night. Only 10 men and 2 other women are scattered around dancing. Citron and Martha dance to Cities in the Dust by Susie and the Banshees. Later, they sit. I like how that guy dances. There's a guy who dances like Elvis. Martha laughs.
That's the only move he knows.
She turns to the entrance and sees a not so bad looking guy entering. That's Jorge. Oh no, that's Joke. He's not Latino, is he?
No.
Okay, I'm calling him Joke, okay? Apologies. 40s, Caucasian male, a narcissistic, erratic and abusive pathological liar who pretends to be nice. The kind who enjoys making women jealous of each other just for fun. He greets a couple, hugs the woman and shows them his brand new grey kilt. Martha dances to Only When I Lose Myself by Depeche Mode, giving her back to Joke. He spots her and moves around to dance with her. They make eye contact, nod at each other in agreement, and flow slowly with the music. She looks down at her feet most of the time. Once the song is over, he goes back to his friends and she sits next to Citron. I saw that. I saw that.
It was nice. It's been a while.
How long?
About 2 years.
The gay dancer shows up and gives Martha an intense but rough lap dance. Joke comes over and dances behind him playfully. He notices he looks gay and moves away. Martha pulls Joke from his belt towards her. She slowly slides the back of her hand upwards on his inner thigh and under his kilt. Citron looks awfully shocked. Joke is surprised but amused, turns to Citron. There's nothing there. He strolls away. Martha turns to Citron.
What? No penis?
I don't know. Maybe he meant he's not wearing anything under. They laugh. The gay dancer gets off Martha. Finally. Did he turn you on?
I'm sleepy.
We should go. I've work tomorrow. On their way to the exit, they stop by the bar. Joke sits alone facing the bartender. Martha pokes him and waves. He turns around and hugs her and Citron.
What's your name?
Shaking their hands. I'm Joke.
Martha.
Citron. He's about to say something, but both exhausted girls wave goodbye. He seems disappointed, but waves and turns around. Citron walks away, but Martha, drunk, stands in front of him for a while, then turns and walks towards Citron. There's an image of a male ghost whispering into her right ear.
His number.
Martha
What
looks
for?
back.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
What for? He's going to think I'm drunk.
Interior, Martha's apartment, Jackson Heights, New York, day. In a separated area of the living room with a divider is her bedroom, covered in Celtic flags, burgundy curtains, rustic wooden furniture, and with a huge pounding headache. Martha wakes up. Bathroom. She takes a steamy shower in a typical New York style bathroom with white and black tiles. Living room. In a simple small living room, I think is meant to be there. On the other side of her bedroom, Martha drinks tea. Concerned, she contemplates for a bit and calls her friend. Interior, Angel's apartment, living room, Brooklyn, day. In a messy, half girly, half manly living room, Angelina, 34 to 40s, trans Afro Latino male, sometimes feels like a woman, sometimes he feels like a man, likes to help, but he, she is not always accurate. Intercut, Martha, Angel.
Angel, something weird happened last night. You know how my grandfather speaks to me when I'm half awake? But he's always told me to get away from men. This is the only time he's ever told me to go after a guy. Well, you don't know if it was really him. Can I consult the tarot? Oh, can you consult the tarot for me? Let's see.
Angel shuffles his tarot cards, pulls out one, shuffles again, pulls out another.
I've got a father figure, but I'm not sure it's your grandfather. Will I see the guy again?
He shuffles the cards, pulls out a few.
I see a love relationship. Go to all the goth clubs and parties. Keep going out. Well, I'm kind of broke right now. Go to the same place where you met him and keep going there. I can't go every night. He's probably going to be looking for you next time he goes out.
Interior, exterior, 80s dance club night. On multiple nights, frustrated Martha goes in and out looking for Joke, but never finds him. Interior, 80s dance club night. Sorry, I'm making a note for myself. Surrounded by that old sticky alcohol smell, Martha stands by the bar with Citron. Karen walks over to them.
Hi, I'm Karen, the manager. If you girls need anything, just let me know.
We will, thank you.
She steps away. You could ask her about the guy. If he comes here often, she should know him.
I don't know. I don't trust her yet. Maybe once I get to know her.
Don't worry, you'll see him again. Interior, Martha's apartment, Jackson Heights night. On an unfortunate night, Martha is asleep. She's woken up by the sound of her male roommate who stays in the actual bedroom, leaving the apartment. She looks at the clock. There's an image of the clock. It's 2 a.m. She tries to go back to sleep. Later, she hears her roommate coming back with a guy. They both go to the bathroom and then the room. Martha looks at the clock on screen, 5 a.m. Back to scene. She tries to go back to sleep. Interior, Martha's apartment, morning. Annoyed, Martha talks on the phone.
I had to talk to him about this, Citron. I'm a light sleeper. Anything triggers my insomnia. Seriously.
There's a pause.
I shouldn't have to remind people to be considerate.
Another pause.
I might have to ask him to leave.
Interior, 80s dance club night. Desperate, Martha is about to exit when she finds Karen by the door.
You had a fun night.
I did, thanks. I wanted to ask you. I met a guy here a few weeks ago. He wears a kilt. Have you seen him?
Karen thinks for a moment.
Oh, I know what you mean. He comes here a lot. He's a cutie.
I keep coming and I never see him again.
He was here last Friday, I think.
Can you give him my number?
Sure. What's your name on Facebook?
She gives Karen her information. Exterior, Jackson Heights day. Eager, Martha looks for work. Eager, comma, Martha looks for work going in and out of restaurants, bars and shops with a newspaper in her hand. They all reject her. She apathetically throws the newspaper with marked circles in the public trash. Interior, 80s dance club, basement night. There's a DJ on a small stage in a depressing grey basement room with a small bar surrounded by some cheap black sofas. Other goth people are dancing to military fashion show by and one around Martha. By and one around Martha and Citron. The song is over. They sit.
I want to get a reading from Angel again. I wonder why Joke is not showing up.
Maybe something happened to him?
I think he's Latino.
Yeah, he's cute. Okay. John.
Where to start? Far too much description. It's not laid out badly, but there's just far too much unessential information. I, to be brutally honest with you, I have no interest in where this goes whatsoever. It didn't hold me. You know, you get the first bit where you've got Martha and Karen talking to each other, and then 4 or 5 pages later, suddenly, you know, it's as if they've never met each other. It's just well, I'm lost for words. It just doesn't go anywhere for me. Sorry.
No, that's okay. We can't all like everything. Ian, what are your thoughts?
Fortunately, I have to echo the same thoughts. I've got written here exactly what you said, John.
Right.
It's not, I don't see where it's going. I'm not gripped by it. I don't have enough interest in it to want to know what happens next. I just not bothered. I can't keep interest in it. I can't see any thread to it. It's just this disjointed scenes that don't seem to have a connection. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scenes that I don't see any point of whatsoever. The gallery, the roommates saying looking for work, the burger joint, the ice cream parlor, none of those things have any relevance to me to anything that's trying to be told in the story. I don't see what they're doing with that. I mean, maybe it's a montage thing, oh, you're having a night out and they're going from different places, but it just doesn't, I didn't see why they were there. And superfluous, a lot of this stuff, There's about 2 or 3 conversations in there you could probably had in about 2 pages.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing is what is it's almost like it needs a really defined goal. And it's not, that goal is not coming across in the first 10 pages. And not all goals, not all characters, stories have a very defined goal, but you usually see where the thread of the story is going. And I think the formatting does need some work. It's halfway there. The scene headings are good in general. You don't need to number them in a first draft. They only get numbered once it's sold and there is a budget attached to it. You don't need scene numbers at this stage. And you can get, if you then add in scenes or delete scenes and your number, you can get in the mess with scene numbering. You don't need that what on page 1. It's superfluous completely. It means nothing. And therefore that Karen, those 2 bits of dialogue are actually the same thing. If you wanted to emphasize that, you could just put a beat in parenthesis in between the 2. I'm being very picky today, aren't I? I mean, I started out being impressed by the scene headings and the fact that this person seems to have got their head around how scenes work, but it kind of disappeared halfway through. And I wondered if that was because they got caught up in telling the story rather than formatting and making sure it was properly set out. I don't know. Also, on page 4, I'm hoping this like just gives a bit more. This is how I would go through and help somebody if I was reviewing a whole script with somebody. I'd go page by page. I tend to write copious notes for people and go page by page. And then they either hate me or love me for it. But on page 4, you've got Martha, it's warm, 2 bartender 1. Can I get a glass of ice? Okay, that 2 bartender 1 should actually be in parenthesis in the middle. So it's warm in parenthesis, 2 bartender, and then you carry on, can I? So that's, you can see you've taken out space there, and there's a lot of that space saving can happen all over this. And then there's part of me that really likes the descriptions of the places, you know, decent sized dance hall with cheap black sofas and walls with hand painted deformed. I mean, I like that. And I would keep some of that just because it really comes over as this writer's voice, which is important. But there's a fine line between getting your voice over and then over egging the pudding, as it were. So you just got to be a bit careful about that. I was disturbed by the phrase in the action, he notices he looks gay. Thinking, do you mean he's just a bit camp? Because, you know, there's a lot of people you can't tell whether they're gay or not, you know. So I think you've got to be careful in this day and age about a phrase like that. And I think there's quite a lot of commas missing. As someone who's picky about grammar, commas can be the difference between reading something one way and reading it another way, you know. So that was it. The intercut bit on page 7, I would argue that that is not the correct use of intercutting. And if you're having a conversation on the telephone, some of that would be with the person in the room, then you'd have maybe an off-screen dialogue, and then you would cut to the other person. So that would be set out differently, I think. And all these formatting things you can find out quite easily online. Also, page 8, interior, exterior, dance club. You're being cheeky here by trying to do everything. On multiple nights, frustrated Martha goes in and out. Nah, because that's going to take more than that 2 seconds that you've got it on this page. You want a series of shots there, going into one, you know, an A, B, C, D, going into one bar, looking around. And so other than that, I'm going to pause here again. On page 9, there's again Martha. 2 pieces, in fact, three bits of Martha can be combined. So you've got Martha, I talked to him about this, I'm a light sleeper, anything triggers my insomnia seriously. And then you need a parenthesis with a beat in, and then you carry on without the character's name. I shouldn't have reminded people to be considerate, beat. I might have to ask him to leave, but those beats are in parentheses, so they're not the same as a beat in the action. So it's mostly, I think, the formatting gets in the way of the story. And so if you tighten up and then, yeah, it really just, you know, there's some elements of it that I really like. I really like the descriptions. I really do like some of the descriptions. And I do want to know what these people are doing and where it's going to go. Oh, the thing that stood out for me a lot was this ghost on the shoulder. Is this the good demon, bad demon thing on your shoulder? Or is this just a voice of conscience? Or is it a real ghost?
Doesn't she refer? That's her grandfather.
If that's her grandfather, then just seeing him once in this 10 seconds, 10 pages, 10 minutes is not doesn't really cut it.
No.
You know, I think you need to have him as a continual presence or popping up again.
I mean, is that going to be integral to the story going
Is it going to be integral to the story? Is he going to appear? And in the first 10 pages, if I was going to introduce that guy, I'd have him fairly early on, and then I'd have him at least 3 times in 10 pages, you know, getting annoying and dogging her footsteps or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that's how I would handle that, personally. Yeah. But again, we don't really know whether, as you say, whether that person's going to be, whether that ghost is integral to the story or just a one-off. Yeah. You know, but I would assume it is integral to the story because we've got the tarot cards, so we're going down that route, aren't we?
Yes.
And with the character Angel, you know, we've got a slightly sort of paranormal feel. Yes. Perhaps going to happen.
Yeah. Again, does that character become, you know, more important as
exactly.
The story progresses?
Exactly, but it's quite difficult to know with this 10 pages.
I think, you know, they could have. The writer could have got to the end of the 10 pages here in about 2 or 3 and given themselves more room to develop those other parts of the storyline, so that when you got to the end of 10 pages, you had a much clearer idea of where it was going to go, and it might hold you a bit better. I think I lost interest because I just couldn't keep up. It didn't hold me enough as we progressed through those 10 pages.
I have to say,
you were getting into the conversation, then suddenly there was a full page description, and you're just like, I don't really care about that anymore.
Yeah, this male ghost is just. I've just thought, you know, I would make more of that if, and it's a big if that character is going to appear later, if that character is somebody that is like her voice of conscience or somebody egging her on, I would have that male ghost physically sitting next to her at the bar in the club. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And her occasionally go, you know, making an aside, and then you've got the opportunity for the person she's with to say, who are you talking to? Or not talking to that, you know, ghost again, are you? You know, it just gives it a little bit of kind of, and also you've got the ghost can have a story of its own, you know, it's dragging its heels through all these bloody bars and getting pissed off with it, and you know, so yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for letting us read it. I hope it helps.